The federal government has dispatched a delegation to Ogoni communities in River State amid ongoing discussions about resuming oil operations in that region. For decades, Ogoni land has faced environmental degradation and socio-economic challenges linked to oil exploration, making community engagement and safeguards a critical priority. A delegation's visit raises questions about the potential benefits for local communities, the measures in place to protect the environment, and how oil activities can be resumed in a responsible manner. Joining us to unpack these issues is Fegalo Nsuke, factional president of the Movement for the Survival of the Ogoni People, MOSUP. Nsuke will discuss what the federal engagement means for Ogoni communities, the safeguards being demanded, and a clear way forward for the resumption of all operations in the region. Welcome to Newsday, Mr. Nsuke.
Thank you.
Very good. So let's talk about the push for resumption of oil production in Ogoni land. First of all, does it have a wide support from the people of that region?
Before I go to that, let me make one clarification. I'm not factional president of MOSUP. I'm the president of MOSUP. And
very good.
When I talk about the presidency of MOSUP, I was elected on the 19th of December 2018. And that election was challenged in courts. And of course, we are at the Court of Appeal. So as long as the court is yet to take a decision on it, what's before the court is that I was elected president and I remain president. There's no difference between the election of the president of MOSUP and the president of Nigeria until the court decides. He remains there, you go to the tribunal. If he loses, he takes it to the Court of Appeal. If he loses, he takes it further to the Supreme Court. And until the court decides, he remains president. And the same applies to the MOSUP. So secondly, a court of competent jurisdiction has declared that all our elections are null and void. So there is no factionalization in MOSUP. I want that to be just
that
clear.
correction has
Then
been noted.
You can ask your questions now.
Very good. Okay, go ahead. So I was asking, does the push, towards resumption of all activities or production rather in Ogoni land, does it have a wider appeal for the people of the region? Are they in support of this move in the first place? Because there's still challenges on ground, you think?
I will say categorically yes. This is a bottom-up approach. The approach that is being adopted by this present government through the Office of National Security Advisor is largely different from what we've had before. Here, Ogoni people are involved in this discussion. And so I would say, yes, this has wide support from within the Ogoni people. And I represent MOSUP. And I can say that we are in support of this. Of course, we've said this several times. We've made it very clear that we want this oil production to resume. The only issue that we've had is that of mutual benefits. And that's been discussed at the moment. So I'll say, yes, we are on course. And that's going to happen.
You know, I recall when this oil cleanup story started about the Ogoni cleanup. It has been on for a while, and I recall former Vice President Yemi Osinbajo championed that cause to ensure that there was the cleanup and also to ensure that the people, you know, feel some form of reprieve. Are you saying that all of that has been dealt with? Because there's also the talks about the people feeling that the federal government or those involved are just doing this to get oil, you know, from their community and not actually showing concern for the exploitation and all of the, you know, hardship that the people of the community suffer.
Well, we actually don't have to deal with all the problems before we talk about development. Whatever are the issues with the cleanup, of course, we can always deal with that. What is most important for us at the moment is the issue of development in Ogoni. And this development cannot happen without money. And the money we're talking about is the money that is in the soil that me and the rest of Ogonis we work on every day. So what we are talking about now is addressing this problem. And I want people to understand something. I am president of MOSUP. My role is to solve the problem in Ogoni. I have a role to, leadership is about solving problems. It's not about escalating them. And so what we have on the table right now is to discuss this issue of addressing 32 years of conflict. And it is far more important than any, because whatever issues we do have can be dealt with at every level. Whether you talk about the cleanup, you talk about the issues of the injustices, whatever you want to talk about, we can always address that. But what is most important at the moment is that we should be talking about how we address this problem, drive development in Ogoni, ensure that everybody is part of it. Look, the beauty of what is going on right now is that it is a dialogue. And it is a fine opportunity because you have to say how you express your views. The other man comes. There are three parties to this thing: the government, the oil companies, and the Ogoni people. And everybody is talking. That is what we've always sought all of this while, and we now have it. So for me, it's a beautiful moment to address all of the issues we have. The cleanup will have issues, of course. They do have issues, but we can always address them, and that shouldn't make us stop this move, because the government is giving us a fine opportunity. The government is talking, willing to talk. We are all talking. What is important now is we need to take the advantage of this very moment and address these issues. As president of MOSUP, I want these issues addressed immediately. I don't like this bureaucratic thing. I don't do things like that. For me, we should address these issues once and for all. And this is a fine opportunity because the government is listening and the government is getting involved. The National Security Advisor just visited Ogoni. What did he come to do? He came to look at ongoing projects, and then he came to look at some of the things that have been proposed. For example, he came to look at the site for the industrial park. And these are the issues we have always raised in Ogoni. We've talked about underdevelopment, we've talked about unemployment. See, when you look at the Ogoni struggle, it's founded on a document that is called the Ogoni Bill of Rights. When you look at that document, all that document talks about is we don't have water, we don't have roads, we don't have electricity, we don't have hospitals and all of that. As we speak, the issue of road is being addressed. As we speak, there is a University of Environmental Technology already in Ogoni. As we speak, the issue of hospitals, there are 4 hospitals that are undergoing upgrade right now. There is a 100-bed hospital that is under construction right now that will be completed, hopefully before the end of the second quarter of 2026, or maybe, I think before the end of the first quarter of 2026, that hospital should be ready. As we speak, dialogue is going on with the government. So we already, I can say that there is already the motion, the move to address all of this is already in motion. So for me, I don't think that we have much problem. What we need to do now is to, if I possibly fast track it and make sure that the interest of everyone is being taken along. There is a dialogue going on, and we can't run away from dialogue. If you have conflict, the only way you resolve it is dialogue, and that dialogue is ongoing. And the beauty of it, we don't have the Abacha approach. Abacha was killing Ogoni people. Here, we have a government that has said, let us talk. Isn't that the best opportunity that we have at the moment? I think is the finest thing that is happening right now, and we should take it.
You're right, Mr. Nsuke. Engagement is key when it comes to issues like this. But among the myriad of issues, your people are seeking protection, before any talk about oil exploration. Specifically, what kind of protection do you think, should be at the top of the list, as it were?
The protection is mutual benefits. We have 3 parties: the government, the oil companies, and the people. So it's not just supposed to be all about taking Ogoni oil and moving the funds to the federation account and sharing it among the 36 states of the federation. Because Ogoni is not a state, so we don't share from the federation account. So the protection we should be talking about in this dialogue is mutual benefits. And when people talk about this oil resumption, it sounds like it only benefits the government. No. Ogoni is talking about development. Ogoni wants development. And that same money that will develop Ogoni is what we are talking about. It's in the oil, it's in the gas. We shouldn't expect that the money that will develop Ogoni will be taken from Akwa Ibom State or from Delta State or somewhere else, when we have even more resources than some of these people. So what is important when you talk about protection is Ogoni interest, and that's all being discussed in this whole process. So I like I say again, this is a fine opportunity Ogoni should take. Let me tell you, if you look at the industrial park, you look at all that is being planned, that I have good knowledge of, we will be able to create 500,000 jobs for Ogoni youth between 2027 and 2031. We will create 500, I'm talking about the multiplier effect. We'll be creating over 500,000 jobs. That's the kind of thing that we want for our people. That's the kind of thing I think Ogoni people should be excited about. And that is why we all need to get involved to ensure that we see this, we plan this, and get this thing implemented for this kind of progress, for this kind of development to happen.
All right, Mr. Nsuke, I wonder if you are actually voicing the fears and the sentiment of the people of Ogoni land, because, of course, they have been through this before, especially during the administration of former late President Muhammadu Buhari, and there are issues of trust deficit. They've talked about the fact that even the funds that were issued for the cleanup and all of these things went through a lot of bureaucratic challenges and also issues with transparency. What do you think should be put in place to ensure that there is no repeat of all of those issues of transparency, accountability, and the like?
Yes, if we're talking about failures of government to ensure accountability in the process, well, I wouldn't play that role. Government should play its role, I play my role. But for me, when I spot something going wrong, it's my duty to talk about it and see that this is corrected. So I'm not going to start being government. I'm not going to do that. I'm not the one to ensure that there is accountability in the process. But I am involved in this one. MOSUP is involved in this one. Ogoni leaders are involved in this one. Youths, women are involved in this one. So we are watching to see that we come up with a program that addresses all of the concerns and ensure the integrity of the process, so that we do not have a situation where we get oil coming out of Ogoni and Ogoni is not getting benefits. I think that is part of the critical aspect of the discussion that are ongoing right now, is to ensure the security of the Ogoni interests.
All right, very good. We've been speaking with Fegalo Nsuke, President, Movement for the Survival of the Ogoni People. We'd like to thank you for your thoughts on those issues. Good to have you with us.